Hey guys, welcome to the Wedding Reporter podcast. I'm so excited to talk about this next couple. This is Mario Adrion and Veta Adrion. So, you probably know Mario from his viral videos, his modeling days, or his unfiltered and hilarious takes on YouTube and social media. He is a model turned comedian and creator who built a global following by mixing bold humor with real vulnerability, a lot of personality, and he is currently on tour. And right beside him is his wife, Veta Adrion, a fashion stylist with an incredible eye and a career that spans editorial work, red carpet looks, and personal styling. Veta is all about helping people express themselves through fashion, and her work blends sophistication, individuality, and a strong creative voice. And we are diving into their love story today. They're spilling all the
No.
details about their recent wedding in Germany. So, welcome, you guys.
Hello.
Hello,
Nice to see you.
Yes, thank you so much for joining. This is going to be a fun conversation. So, I love to just start from the very beginning. How did you guys even meet?
Yeah, good question. Do you want to start? So,
We've told this story a lot, so I feel like we can go back and forth and fill you in. But essentially, we were at a holiday party in Los Angeles. It was a party that was for his agency, and I was just someone else's plus one. And it was a friend, it wasn't anything.
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
like steal me from someone. And he knew my friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think when he saw my friend, he saw me and he was like, I'm going to go say hi to my friend and meet this
Oh,
girl.
yeah.
That's
Love
what I did.
it.
No, that's true. I mean, I just moved to the US from Germany. It was about 5 years ago. And
Okay.
I didn't know a lot of people in Los Angeles, but this one person I happened to, have run into a couple times. So I said hi to him. And then she looked very cute. She looked like a little French girl with one of
Love.
these, what's it called?
I
Like
was wearing a beret.
exactly.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, so I just talked to her, and again, I'm not a very flirtatious person, so it's just very matter of fact, and I like making conversations, but I'm gonna get her or
No, but like in a Mario way, he like saw a friend that he wasn't really friends with and saw a girl that he really wanted to talk to. And he's like, I'm going to go say hi to this guy. And then immediately be like, hello, what's your name?
yeah.
And
That's hilarious.
I think we spoke like for 45 minutes, heavy eye contact, and it resulted in him asking me for my Instagram, which is when I then saw his Instagram and I was like, "Oh my gosh, who is this?" He had like 250 followers at the time. 250,000, sorry.
Something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Who is this guy? Why does he
Oh,
have so many followers?"
right? That's
And
so
then
good.
I think the funny thing and the funny twist in this is also due to the fact that I did not really approach her very aggressively, plus the fact that I had a lot of photos from my modeling days on my Instagram that featured me in a Speedo.
He's outing himself. I was
Yeah.
going to say this.
No, I have a lot of photos in a Speedo. And
Yeah.
so I thought she was so beautiful. I thought she's going to be my wife one day. And she thought that I'm going to be her new gay best friend. That was the
That was
the
the vibe you were
dynamic.
giving on your Instagram profile at the time, right?
Yeah. And in real life,
No.
to be fair, I
And in
was.
real life, he
Yeah.
was there with like his gay best friend. They had this YouTube channel where they were like inseparable. And he was like, they were very like touchy feely. And
Yeah.
so I was like, this must be Mario's partner. Or it's LA, no, gays do whatever they
Yeah.
want in LA. There's
Yeah.
no commitment. But
Right.
I was like, he was really interested in me and he got my info, so maybe there's hope. And I
Yeah.
was determined to be in his life somehow. I just didn't know how I was going to fit. And I just loved I loved his vibe. I just thought
Yeah.
he was cool. I didn't know what he was into, but
That's
I was going to
awesome.
out you for being
No, that's
very
totally fine.
honest.
He
No,
outed
of
himself.
course.
It's good.
Yeah, he
I
did.
mean, I think that I just look very. Also, I came straight from Europe, so we
Mhm.
Europeans tend to look a little more gay. I was wearing
Yeah.
a very very tight turtleneck, like very tight, super tight pants. I looked so. Looking back
And
now,
he was
I
wearing
totally get it.
like women's jewelry. And
I was wearing a dangling earring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't blame her for thinking that I'm gay.
Yeah, but I
And
still
Mhm.
like really liked you. Like I didn't
Yeah.
judge you. I was in a place in my life where I was open minded. I was into queer people. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
thought everything was great. There was
Yeah.
no discrimination.
She's
Right.
like, I'm gonna turn this gay guy straight. And
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Well, yeah, I think, and with you being in fashion too, Vita, like, and then you being a model, Mario, it's like, yeah, you kind of understand just like the fashion world and how modeling works. And yeah,
How
I
it
think that's
can.
so cool that you guys met at a party. I thought that like because of your backgrounds, you were gonna say that you met on a shoot or something.
that would have been even. Yeah, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
I think it would have gone the same way if we had met
Yeah.
professionally.
Yeah,
This
I can see
Mm-hmm.
party
being a
was
stylist.
for his agency. It was within
Mm-hmm.
the world of work.
It was my YouTube agency, and
Yeah.
they had so it was
Okay.
all like in the entertainment bubble, and
Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
it was funny because I just started. I didn't do stand up comedy at the time, but I just started, and I did my first ever stand up comedy open mic, and I thought it was a great idea because I was doing this new thing, and I was like, oh, she worked as an actress. I was like, oh, let's challenge ourselves creatively, and I invited her to come to a stand up comedy open mic with me,
Nice.
which is an
Okay.
odd place for a first date. And it was not really,
Yeah.
I didn't classify it as a date. I
It
didn't
was
know.
not a date.
I didn't know either. It was like two creatives kind of, I'm a bit of a nerd. So I was like, oh, we'll just do like a cute little open mic together.
He took me to a Vietnamese place right beforehand, so we did eat. So technically, like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
did break bread, but it wasn't romantic. Like, it was just like two friends getting to know each
Mm-hmm.
other,
Having pho,
having
soup.
some fun. Actually, I
Oh,
had
nice.
I remember I had a banh mi
Oh,
sandwich.
yeah, the sandwich. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And do you
Yeah.
want to tell a story of like how you, your lips?
Okay, we're telling everything. I mean, this is like such a run-on sentence answer. Like, she just said how'd you meet, and we're like, and then this happened.
No, this is, I would keep
Um,
asking you questions to lead to this point, so go right ahead.
so also, by the way, I wasn't he wasn't a comedian yet, and I wasn't a fashion stylist yet when
Yeah.
we had met.
Okay.
Like, we
Oh,
were both
gotcha.
in
Okay.
transit. We were both figuring out what we're doing with our lives when we met.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just quitting acting, basically. Like, I had so many strange experiences in the acting world that I was like, I think I'm done with this industry. But
Yeah.
when he said, do you want to do stand-up comedy? You want to write a tight five? I was like, okay, like, I never tried that. Like, maybe I try it. Maybe this is my last thing. And so I was at my sales job all day. In my office, they were like, hey, like, we'll help you write your comedy bit. Because
Nice.
one of them was a comedian. And from the sales job, I just went straight to, like, this is how not romantic it was. I wrote a comedy bit. I went straight to my waxing lady because I had a scheduled appointment after work. And she was like, waxing me, my normal. And she's like, hey, do you ever like wax your upper lip? And I was like, no, do I need to? I'm like a blonde person. I have like
Right.
translucent hair. Even if I have a mustache, it's very blonde. And she's like, yeah, I think, and I won't charge you. I'll do it for free. And I was like, okay. And then, like, after a second, I was like, wait, I told you I'm going to meet that guy. That might be gay. But, like, will my face be red? Because, like, even if he's gay, I don't want to have a red upper lip. And she's like,
Right.
oh, it will be fine. And so she waxes my lip and she's like, wait, when are you meeting him? And I was like, in 30 minutes. And she was like,
Oh,
it
no.
will still be very red. I showed up, like, in my boring, like, 9 to 5 work clothes, glasses, no makeup, and a freshly waxed upper lip.
Which was fun to me
Lovely.
because I saw her. She looked very cute still, but just so different from the night when I
Yeah.
saw her out with
It's-
the little French hat
It's like
and
that TikTok where it's like the girl that you go on your first date with
Yeah.
versus the girl you live with, and
Yeah.
it's like the
Yes.
slob versus the hot, like, thirst trap. Yeah.
so
Totally.
yeah. But that was funny, and I still
That
thought
my
she was.
first out.
And I still thought she was so cute. And then we went to the stand-up comedy open mic, and she went on stage, and that's actually the moment for me when I fell in love with her.
Oh
Because
my gosh.
I saw
your
her-
first time hanging out.
yeah, because when I saw her on stage, she was not very funny, but she was very
I got chuckles.
like she was so confident,
I got
and it was really
chuckles.
beautiful
Oh.
seeing like somebody because I in my life, I've always been proud of the fact that I've always loved to get out of my comfort zone. And
Yeah.
seeing somebody who does not do comedy, doesn't have any aspirations of becoming a comedian, and just goes up there for fun in life, right? And
Right.
performs in front of strangers, which is stand up is one of the most scary things you can ever do. And she's talked about her cat and her grandma, and it was very silly.
And my grandma's vibrator. It was a great type 5.
It was it was
on.
unbelievable.
That's
It was
good.
so
That's good.
It was cringe.
And I really felt this feeling of like I want to hold her hand. Like I was very impressed by that. And that's the moment for me when I was like, oh wow, she's I feel very attracted to her romantically because of her. Despite her upper lip being red, just the fact that she was so confident.
It like faded into the night.
Oh, good.
When I met Mario, it was my love at first sight. Like when I
Oh.
left that evening, like that actual evening, my +1 like walked me out, and I was like, "Do you think Mario's gay, or do you think he'd hang out with me?" And he was like, "I don't know. Why don't you find out?" And he like stormed off, and I was like, "Oh no, I don't know if we thought that this was the same thing."
Yeah. Man.
But I
Wow.
was really into Mario when I first met him. So, anyways,
That's
that's
so
our
awesome.
long answer.
I love it. So good. All right. So then this kind of after the comedy night, it kind of progresses into dating at that point, right? And then what happens next? Like how did that point in your life like lead up to a proposal?
It took a couple of years.
Wow.
We met in 2019. So
Okay.
he proposed in 2022. Wait,
End of
2023?
2023. End of 2023, yeah. So
Okay.
4 years after we met, I proposed. And the weird thing was we went on a couple dates and then literally so we had the first kind of date. It took a couple months because my dad was visiting, her mom was so like we didn't see each other for a couple months. So I think officially we started dating in 2020, and we had a few dates out in the real world.
We celebrated Valentine's Day together. So
Exactly.
So we definitely I think oh, and on his birthday, we secretly kissed near the bathroom. You
That's
remember
right.
that?
That's right.
His birthday's January 21st.
First, yeah. So
Oh,
we
mine's the
basically
23rd, just a couple days
really?
away. Yeah.
No.
Nice.
And so we had a few dates in the real world with
In
friends.
January, we actually went on a date
Yeah,
right before your birthday.
exactly. So we went on a date. That was the first time we started dating. So it was like maybe a month or so of dating, and then the pandemic happened. So we basically went from having fun dates, doing stuff outside, going to dinners, to basically being being married for 5 years, being inside. So it was an interesting transition, and I think it made us get a lot closer, a lot quicker, because there's no outside distractions. It's just us. And it's an interesting time to get to know somebody. And it was a tough time also in terms of obviously the pandemic. Then creatively for me personally, stand-up had just kind of, I mean, I was just excited about this new creative endeavor called stand-up comedy. And then everything shut down.
Yeah.
So it was creatively challenging in that sense. And then just in general. So we went through.
We had some ups and downs.
Yeah, exactly.
And, we took time apart. The pandemic dating time was a true test to like our friendship factor and then our love factor. And I think once we got through the friendship factor at the end of 2020, like right around December, we actually decided to be together for reals and not be like back and forth. And he took me to Hawaii
Ooh.
to make this decision. We went
Seal the deal.
parasailing.
Yeah.
We went parasailing, and he
Amazing.
was telling me that I'm a princess and all of the island of Hawaii is mine if I want it. And I was like, you're so silly. It was just such a silly.
That was a beautiful moment of.
We were like up in the. Have you ever been parasailing? It was such a.
No, but it looks amazing.
When you're all the way up in the air,
You see Hawaii, the
you
volcanoes.
feel secure and safe, but you actually you don't. It's like such a mix.
Yeah.
And he was just saying such silly romantic things, and
Yeah, and that's the moment I was like, because we had such a willingness to both work on ourselves in order for this relationship to work. So Hawaii was that we came to that conclusion. I saw her in the air, and jokingly I always said I saw her butt in the air when we were parasailing, and I was like, you know what, this is gonna work. And and then we we moved in together. I think like 3.5 years or so.
My favorite thing, and like shout out or not shout out, I just want to say this in case anyone else is listening and they're wondering like how to approach moving in together, right? Do you rush into it? What I did is I had like the opportunity to move out of Koreatown, and he lived in Hollywood, and so I moved to Hollywood. So I wasn't living with him, but I was near him. Being in that close proximity for a year and a half or maybe 2 years was so great because we still had our space, but we could be together and it wasn't inconvenient.
Yeah,
Because like
that's great advice.
going from like, one town all the way to the next for a relationship can be so strenuous, especially if you're doing long distance. I mean, cross country, that's, good for whoever's doing that. But it was so magical just to be his neighbor and to still like all the boundaries in our relationship still existed before fully moving in. And when we decided to move in, it was because we both felt so ready to be in each other's space all the time.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like it was taking away from our productivity in life.
Yeah.
And I think what I said to you was like, I just want to like do all my like downtime with you, like all the small moments.
Yeah.
Like I want to just relax with you, and it'd be nice if like you're always there and I'm, so that we don't have to necessarily coordinate in our schedules when we see
To hang
each
out.
other.
Yeah.
Like, bag to the other person's place.
Yeah.
So that's what prompted us moving in.
That's so good. Awesome. And then, so you guys are moved in. When did it get to that point where you're like, we're ready to get married, like ready to get engaged? Like, did you guys talk about like go ring shopping? Was it a complete surprise when the proposal happened?
I told him probably 1 year before he proposed that I was ready to be engaged, and it overwhelmed him a little bit, but I am 5 years older than him. So I feel like there's this dynamic that I can't escape where I feel ready for things at least 1 year before him.
Yeah.
So we had many conversations, and ultimately it was like, hey, you just know now that like I'm going to say yes. So whenever you're ready to propose, the answer is waiting, like do it on your time, and then you can answer the other part of the question.
Yeah. I mean, and I didn't want to like, obviously it has to feel right for both people. And
Totally.
but yeah, after having lived together, I think to me also living together is almost like a bigger step in some ways because it really changes the dynamic. But after having done that for me, that was a clear order of things in terms of like, I want to move in first. And then after like living together for it was maybe like a half a year or a year, I was very secure in the decision of like, I definitely want to marry her.
Yeah.
Like I got all my answers just dating, and then he needed to live with me to get his answers.
Yeah.
And like, I won't take offense to it, but it's fine. And he went ring shopping on his own. That was the part I wanted you to explain.
Yeah, and then I went ring shopping. So I was like, I want to do something because I'm from Germany and she's from Chicago, right? So I wanted to give her, because she'd mentioned before she wanted more of a vintage ring rather than something new, something that has a bit more history. So I went back to Germany, found this vintage shop in Berlin, and just found a ring that matches her eye color and the color of her Volkswagen Beetle. It's like a light blue ring, because we Germans, we coordinate our rings based on the color of the car.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we do. So I got it there, and then I always was thinking like how I was gonna propose, and I decided that first of all, I met her at a stand-up comedy show, or rather, I fell in love with her at a stand-up show at a club called Second City, which is a Chicago-based improv school, and she's from Chicago, and then I happened to be on a show in Chicago at Zanies, which is a comedy club in downtown Chicago, and I decided to propose on stage.
Oh my gosh.
At a comedy show. Vita was truly, genuinely surprised because I told her that, hey, I want to do this routine where I bring you up on stage and I make some jokes about our relationship. And I was like, this will be a great clip for online. So I'd done it with her 2 times before in LA where I bring her up on stage so that when it happens in Chicago, she would not be suspicious
That's good.
of a proposal happening. And I even said, I think I gave you a little gift or something the day off, just to like, or I asked her about a ring size, just so that she is completely misled and thinks I don't have a ring yet. And so I brought her up on stage in front of her family. I made sure, so I told her family. I told some of her
Good.
family, not even her mom. I told some of the family to make sure that they're all gonna be there at the wedding, at the proposal, or at the show.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it was a crazy day. A lot of things happened. Like some person didn't show up at the show, and it was a bit rushed. But then I brought her up on stage, and yeah, she didn't expect anything. And I think I said the line. I said, "Baby, I love being your gay best friend, but I want to be more than that. I want to be your gay best husband."
That's
And then
amazing.
I went down on one. There's a video of it on YouTube too. And then yeah,
He said all these things.
yeah, and then she was completely the reaction. And if you want the video, I can send it to you if you want to put in the episode. But
Yeah, we'll put it
her
in the
reaction
episode.
is insane. It was truly. She was like, first she was thinking I made a joke, and she was like, oh, and then she was like, just
That's
really.
real, yeah.
It was so fun seeing that. I genuinely surprised her, and it was
I
awesome.
was so shocked. It
Wow.
was so exciting. I had been dreaming about the day, and I never thought it would be in that like day that it happened.
Yeah, that's
It
so
was
good. On
shocking.
stage at a comedy show. It really is full circle because that was your first hangout, I guess,
Yeah.
and where you fell in love with her. And so, oh, that's so good. Good on you. That's awesome.
He's
Thank
a
you.
So
romantic one.
it's so romantic. And then, so you guys get engaged. Now, what was the wedding planning process like? Were you like wanting to get married right away? Like, did you start the planning process right away? Did you
He
kind of
did.
be engaged for a while?
He like the night of was like, okay, we're gonna get married in a castle in Germany, and this
Oh
is
my
like an hour after he proposed, and I
Yeah.
was just like, whoa, you're
You're like, let's
overwhelming.
do this.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm processing what has just happened.
Yeah.
But it's quite I feel like what we ended up doing is very normal for an what am I trying to say? International marriage. So because of legal stuff, we actually eloped first. So like
Okay.
2 months after we got engaged,
Yeah, in December. Yeah.
we went
Wow.
to
Okay.
Vegas, and we had like this fun little let's get married party with ourselves. Like
That's so
Nobody was
fun.
there.
I
No one was
love
there.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not Vegas people though, so it's interesting to like tell people that, and then the expectations are so high. Like, oh, did you guys go crazy? And it's like, no,
Yeah.
we just
At
like
dinner and
You just
we
wanted to
got
do it. Yeah.
married there.
did
you
yoga
know?
in the morning, and
Yeah.
then
We
That
saw like Cirque du Soleil. Like we saw the shows. Like we're very when we go to Vegas, we see shows. We went to the Sphere. It wasn't Backstreet Boys though. But
yeah.
it was some silly movie.
darn.
So we got that out of the way just so we could take care of Mario's green card application because of his work and his tour and traveling. It was just
yeah.
a lot to get off of our minds to make sure like he was able to travel for our destination wedding.
Exactly. Yeah.
His like with the timing of everything, his visa would have ended around the time we wanted to have a wedding, and it
Yeah.
just like it was just like dicey. So we're
A
like,
lot of
okay,
like, because
Yeah.
let's do this now.
because I was in the
Yeah.
process of getting my green card just through work, and then it would have been you can't travel once you're applying, so there would have been a scenario in which we have a wedding and I can't leave the U.S.
Wow.
So it was a
Yeah.
little bit,
They hold you hostage
yeah, they hold you hostage.
until you're approved.
Exactly.
So
So we had it, but I think it was perfect because we had this fun, like silly version of our wedding that was just the two of us. It was very silly, not very
Yeah.
traditional.
it felt rebellious.
It felt rebellious. It felt
So
like it also
fun.
speaks to our
I
vibes.
felt like a
and-
teenager running
Exactly,
away with my high
exactly.
school love.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And my mom was like angry because she couldn't be there.
Oh, yeah. But then you guys did have your castle wedding, and I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like there were so many events even leading up to that, like your welcome
Yeah.
party and your rehearsal dinner. Like, So maybe tell us, like, as you're planning this, like, what was your vision? Like, you did want a castle in Germany. Like, did you have colors or like an idea of how you wanted it to be?
Yeah, I'll speak on this because I was more passionate about the aesthetics. Mario said castle, and then I was like, all right, let's find the perfect place. The castle needed to also be a hotel, obviously, to hold
Yeah.
our wedding party. And we looked at a couple different ones online. Can't go in person because we're in Los Angeles. And it was like, it was hard because they were all kind of the same price, give or take a couple $1,000s. But like some of them, it was like the scenery was perfect, but then the interior was
exactly.
ugly.
Yeah.
Or it
Yeah.
was like or it was like both were like amazing, but it didn't have enough space for our
Yeah.
wedding. Or,
Yeah.
so there were like all these little things. I was like, oh, okay, not this one. And then I remember when we saw the Hotel Schloss Weitenberg, that's what it's called, a website, and we're like scrolling through, and I'm like, okay, it's really pretty. The exterior is nice. Like, it's not like breathtaking like a Disney castle, but it's nice. It's like old looking and castle-y. And then I saw the interior, and that's when I was like, holy crap, like this is so romantic and so
Ooh.
like medieval. Like there's animal
So
heads
cool.
everywhere.
Love
There's like
it.
dark wood, dark red.
Yeah.
The bedrooms were so dramatic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, every
Ooh.
bed had a giant canopy, and it was like a jacquard, peach and red and green, like pastel drape, and it was
Ooh.
just so pretty.
It feels like, because we looked at some castles that were really big and beautiful, but they're more rustic, a bit more medieval, whereas this one feels very romantic. I mean, there's
Mhm.
literal there's like a knight armor in one of the
That's
corners,
so
and it's an
cool.
actual, because the castle's like, it's old, and we thought,
It was for a child, that little knight. It was funny.
yeah,
It was such a small one. I was like, "What's that for?" They're like, "It
well,
was for a child."
people were smaller back
Wow.
then.
No, they said
Oh, really?
I asked them. I said, "Why is that knight so
Hilarious.
tiny?" They said,
For
"For a child."
child
Just
soldiers.
like training for jousting or something later on,
Exactly.
right? Like, that's awesome.
So
Okay.
yeah, we locked that in. Then we were like, okay, we have this wedding, and a lot of Americans will fly from all around the world. Some people came from a lot of people came from the U.S.
European friends and U.S.
Yeah.
guests.
So we just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that we have this castle wedding, but there's so much pressure on one day. So I just wanted to make sure that people also get to see my hometown where I grew up.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So, which is 40 minutes from the castle. So we decided to have like a wedding week. It's almost like a summer camp of wedding activities
I
for
love
people who
it.
want to go earlier and have experienced the Black Forest and where I'm from. So we organized a vintage bus tour one day to one of the lakes
That's
in the Black
cool.
Forest. And then we went to my aunt's bakery for some Black Forest cake. And then one of my favorites was we had an Oktoberfest themed party,
Yes.
which was one of my favorite
It was my idea.
events. That was Vita's idea.
Just want to say, obviously it was the American idea.
Yeah.
He's not from Bavaria, which is where
Yeah.
it's a cultural thing. So it was like a bit strange for his family. Like, why an Oktoberfest party?
But we have like beer
Yeah.
fest, and it was just so fun because like when you have a wedding, there's a certain tone and a certain aesthetic we wanted to live up to, which with the castle very romantic, a little bit more upscale. So the
So much
Oktoberfest
fun.
party was fun because we could lean into more of the German rural.
Yeah.
We had my wife took a big hammer and hit a beer keg to
So
as a
good.
ceremonial
So
opening
cool.
of the keg,
Yeah.
right? And then we hired a German band, and they just played these German like songs, and we're all jumping and up. So it was very fun just having a wedding and then also having this more wild Oktoberfest themed party, which people love. People dressed up; they wore the traditional
Love
outfits,
it.
the lederhosen, the dirndl, and
That was my favorite part, obviously, was the
Yeah.
costumes. And
Oh, yeah.
I put a lot of effort into making sure people wore costumes. And
good.
yeah, and his dad was really passionate about helping like get
So
us
much.
a band. That
That's
was his
awesome.
dad's idea.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Okay, I'm going to handle the food. We're going to get it from this really good butcher." And the food was amazing. And it was
Wow.
so good, we ran out of food.
Yeah.
Mario didn't even
Amazing.
get plate.
We ran out so quickly.
No.
The Americans were.
Oh, that's so cool. I love a theme party so much. So like I
Yeah.
love that you incorporated that into your wedding and like made sure people had costumes and everything. That's
Yeah.
like such a fun way to like welcome people
It was
your wedding week, really.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a priority. For
Yeah.
sure.
And then was it the next day that you guys did your rehearsal dinner then?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, we had a wedding planner help us with
Oh,
everything.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was no way we could have done this. I don't speak German.
Yeah. I mean, my dad was very
Yeah.
helpful. My dad would drive when we were looking for castles. My dad would drive to every castle and scout it out for us.
It is very
He
nice.
was so sweet. He was driving
Awesome.
so much, going to every castle, like going on little walks, taking photos and
We
videos.
always say he's the best mom ever.
Yeah, he's the best mom ever. My
Way
dad's
to go,
amazing.
Dad. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good. So supportive. I love that. So,
Yeah.
and then your rehearsal dinner was that at the castle or a different location? At
It
the
was in
castle.
a
Okay.
it was in a dining room, like the private dining room in the castle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Such
Yeah.
a cool room.
So there was already people there who stayed the whole weekend basically at the castle. And by the way, in Germany, we don't do rehearsal dinners. It's not a thing. And we also don't do wedding parties. So a lot of these things were new for me because I've been to a couple of German weddings. By the way, they're a lot more, how can I say this? It's structured. A lot of them are also Christian weddings. So it's just like there's a priest who just leads the ceremony. And all you say is, yeah, yes, I do. And it was funny because I talked to my friend who's also planning a wedding. I was like, hey, how are you going to do your vows? And I was like, Marie, what do you mean the vows? Yeah, we have a priest. He gives us the order and we follow the structure and the order of the priest.
Wow.
And so there was a lot more to plan for us. And a lot of Germans were a little confused. They were all asking me, what is the rehearsal dinner? Are we reading are we reading lines? Like what are we rehearsing? They just didn't know the format. But I think they all loved it. So we had
They did. I mean, it was a lovely dinner. It was so much fun.
We had it was a little chaotic because at some point, I don't know how it started. So some people gave speeches. It was wonderful, very emotional, which I thought was one of my favorite parts was some people just being able to share some things they wanted to express. And
That's cool.
And then all of a sudden somebody did a catwalk.
No, it was me and Lauren. Me
and
my maid of honor instigated a catwalk. You have to understand the way that they set up the dining room. There was a catwalk in the middle of all the tables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the perfect, it was a U-shaped dining room. So it was the perfect place to display a hottie, and
Yeah,
one
of
of
course.
Mario's best friends, his name is Jeff Kasser.
From Tennessee.
He's also from Memphis. I love objectifying him. It's just so fun. He's also really pretty.
He's very beautiful. Yeah.
And he's never offended when you objectify him. If anything, I think it makes him feel better about
Yeah,
himself.
he loves it.
And so I don't know what he was doing, but he was like in the catwalk area. And I was like, okay, Jeff, I see that booty. Like, I think he was bending over.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jeff, can you turn around? Can you walk again? And my friend Lauren was just like, yeah, walk the catwalk. And then we started chanting, walk the catwalk, and clapping. And he just started doing a catwalk. And then everyone started clapping and chanting with us. And it just like took off. And I think like 8 different people walked the catwalk.
Including
That's
her
so
mom.
fun.
Iconic.
Including her mom.
My mom, my
her
aunt,
aunts.
my nephew who's like
Yeah.
8 years old.
And then I did a catwalk and I did a handstand. I almost knocked off the chandelier.
I saw your video on that.
yeah,
That's so
yeah.
funny.
So it was very fun, and that was again. There's just it's love having such a fun group of people. It was just cool, and I think the Germans were a little taken aback because it was so wild, and German weddings are a bit more tame, I guess. I mean, after the party's pretty tame.
There's no other way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, welcome to American culture. Like, we love to express ourselves. Like, we're very animated.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And this was like a really good mix of American cultures. Like, it wasn't all just like white people. It was like a blend of a lot of different types of people. So you got the Filipinos, you got the Latinos, like you got everyone that they're like, expressing themselves. A lot of Jews. Let's not forget the Jews.
Yeah.
I think the Jews, we like to celebrate and sing and dance.
That's
Yeah.
true. We did a
I love
horror.
that. Yeah, you guys mixed like so much of both of your cultures into the wedding, which is really cool. And yeah, like you were just saying, tell me the story of how you're doing the horror and everything and how you
Oh,
kind of like took advantage of those traditions.
well, really quick, mixing the cultures. I think the funniest moment was after the
Yeah.
ceremony, which we'll get to. You know, you break the glass in Jewish tradition.
Yeah.
You know, and it symbolized the fragility of life and how you should appreciate the fleeting moments in life. And then right after we did the traditional German tradition where we sawed a piece of wood in half and we were just all of a
I
sudden
love
enlivening
that.
wood with the big saw, and then it was very hard for us. And she was in her gown. It was super hot during the wedding, by the way. We had a super
Oh,
It
hot
was
summer
like
day in Germany.
man.
3 degrees
Yeah, it
or
was
something.
very hot out. And then they played some German. It's just such a fun contrast of like the fragility of life in the Jewish culture, and then the Germans were like nine, 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 just sawing the wood in half. My dad helped. A bunch of my friends held the wood, and it was very tough for us.
It was so
It took a
Wow.
long time, but when we did it, it was like cheering, yeah. And then we had the piece of wood, and it's just a funny contrast of cultures. And all the Americans were like, "What the hell is a German wedding like?"
They were
They
laughing.
were
Right.
all laughing. Yeah, it was
They were
very
like,
funny.
what are Vita and Mario doing right
Yeah.
now? Also, this makes sense.
Oh my
He's
gosh,
always like,
that's so
I'm a
good.
lumberjack family.
My family's a
Yeah,
family of like
right?
lumberjacks and
No way.
stuff
He
like
didn't have
that.
to go to Home Depot to get a log of wood. He
Oh,
went to
no,
his
no, no,
uncle's
no.
Yeah,
bed.
you're like, okay, I can
Exactly.
get this log. We got this.
Exactly.
Saw,
Right.
check. Like, yeah.
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 Also, we never talked about the color themes, which I was
Yeah,
excited
what's your
to.
colors?
But then we like talked about other things. It was a romantic theme, so dark red was like the bridesmaids colors.
So
And then
cool.
like ivory colored flowers were like that was the direction. And then just classic black for the groomsmen. And then
With the red bow
with
tie
the
to
dark
match.
red to match the
Nice.
bridesmaids. Yeah, and then like here and there green because green exists. And his mom offered to do our flower arrangements.
Wow,
So she basically
amazing.
handled all of it, whether she made the flower arrangements or not. She like handled all of it. And I do think she put like beautiful centerpieces with like an array of colors. Actually, I don't remember. No, that was at the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
She did all of it.
Wow,
It's
she
all
did the
very-
rehearsal dinner too.
yeah.
I
Wow.
need like photos in order to remember anything.
Yeah, right?
So much was going on.
Yeah. So, did you do your ceremony like inside the castle or was it outside on the grounds?
We were outside in the heat, near a tree. And in German tradition, the women are on the right, the men are on the left. So the tree
Okay.
was on the left, the shade was on the left. All
No.
of the beautiful girls were in the hot sun. I felt so bad, but they looked amazing.
No.
Yeah, the photos look good. They
Yeah.
don't look like they're suffering.
No, but like one of them
great.
told me that she almost passed out.
Oh no.
Yeah,
She's like,
she was
stay
like, I
awake.
almost passed out and ruined your wedding. I'm like, it would not have been ruined. I'm glad you didn't pass out.
Yeah.
So it's really
That's
hot.
so good.
But we
Yeah.
wanted to choose that spot so that you can see the castle in the background. That was just
Mhm.
the entire
The only indoor option was their chapel, and like besides the fact that it's a religious space, it only fits like 20 people.
It's very
so
small,
Yeah.
but it's beautiful.
it was
Yeah.
not an option for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your guest count?
107.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a good
Right.
group for destination,
Yeah.
especially too.
And
Have
more,
all your friends
more
come
Americans
out.
than Germans.
You have to think of
Yeah.
it as only half a destination wedding because
Right.
his,
That's true. All his,
his
family's
people
there.
are in Germany.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for them, it was like not a destination.
That's so
But
true.
still, so many Americans came. It was more Americans than Germans, for
I
sure.
know, but like a
Wow.
true destination wedding is in a
Mm.
city where nobody lives.
Yeah,
That's
That's
so
a true-
true. Yeah.
sure, yeah,
Mhm. It just happened that it was overseas.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's an international marriage. So
Yeah.
it's either going to be my home or your home, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Vita, what was it like choosing your wedding dress? Or did you have multiple dresses?
I did, yeah. I had 2 dresses. And choosing them was such a process because I work in the industry.
Right.
And I thought I would know exactly what I wanted, but I had no idea. Like, when it comes to gowns, I don't ever try gowns on. I don't know
Right.
what kind of gown looks good on me or is my vibe. And so I ended up trying on 35 different dresses, and I made
Wow.
a video about it if you want to see, if you want
Nice.
to check it out.
Yes, for sure.
And honestly, I'd say 30 of those dresses looked amazing. So
Yeah.
it was so hard to pick a dress. There's so many beautiful gowns out there. I will say that as I tried on dresses, I did not limit myself with a budget because I wanted to really know and feel and see what my taste was. So some of the gowns, even if I loved it, I would never buy it because it was
Yeah.
$16,000, right?
Right.
But it was still really important that I got to try it on. And
Mhm.
these bridal like boutiques, they don't care. Like
Right.
they're not like checking your credit score before you try on a $16,000 dress. Like they're
Yeah.
handing you
They're
champagne.
happy you're trying that
Yeah.
one on.
Yeah. So it was a really, really good process. And and I definitely got inspired by it. And then I ended up going the more affordable and sustainable route. And I went on stillwhite.com
Yeah.
and
Great
looked
site.
up the brands that I had already tried on. And I just started scouring. I was like, what's available in my size? What condition is it in? And I found a Galia Lahav dress, she's like one of the biggest bridal designers in the industry. I'm sure you've heard of her.
Oh, yes.
She's the one that had the $16,000 dresses that I was trying
Oh,
on.
yeah.
And I found this floor model that some girl was selling for like $3,000, and
No
it was
way.
originally $11,000 gown.
Wow.
And she was like, "Yeah, it's a size 41 or 40 or 42, I forget, and you can have it." She was like, "I never wore it," and I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
Interesting. And so when I got the dress, there was blood on the inside, and like a
No.
very small amount, but still there was some blood. And so I was like, maybe like, because it was a floor model, I don't know. Maybe somebody
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh,
But
no.
at
Yeah.
first I was thinking like she lied, she totally wore the dress.
Yeah, right?
But now that I've worn the dress and I see what the hem looks like, no one ever wore the dress before.
Wow.
The dress was in pristine condition before my wedding night,
Wow.
and now it's like
That's
trampled
amazing.
and destroyed by gravel.
Right.
We were
Yeah.
outside.
I love that you did that. I did the same thing for my wedding. I went to the shop, tried on the dress, and then I was like, I searched online for it and found it for like way less. So
So
I love that. And
smart.
it's sustainable too. I
It
love
is.
that
Yeah.
element of it, which is great. Yeah, for sure. So good. Okay, so we went over your ceremony. Maybe take me to your reception. So I know your last two parties were wild. Did
Mhm.
that carry into your wedding reception too?
Yeah, because
So, yeah.
because of the best man speech, or not the best man. It was a speech given by one of his best friends. Our reception was really like the dinner, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really chill. It was just a typical dinner until Jeff Kasser, I brought him up earlier,
Yeah.
started roasting Mario. I don't know, maybe it wasn't roasting, but he was very funny. And all of a sudden, one of the guests of the wedding comes out in a Borat swimsuit.
Have you seen Borat? Like a little man. It's a mankini.
Yes.
Everyone knows the Borat swimsuit. And it's lime green. It's like exactly like the movie.
Oh my
And he
gosh.
just starts walking around the dining room like it's a catwalk. And yeah, and so that happened, and I was just like, "What
My gosh.
is going on?"
So that was, yeah, and that was definitely,
Lord.
it's also fun because it's the cast and the Germans were like, what is going on with the
Yeah,
Americans?
the
And the
Americans.
Germans
It's
are all
another
like,
catwalk. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm sorry. The boy who did that was a German. Thank you.
He's American. I mean, he's
Nick-
more American. Yeah, he's more
Nick
American.
is a German citizen, and he speaks German.
He was raised in America his whole life. But yeah, he's from Texas more than Germany. But
Yeah.
anyways, He has some German roots for sure. Yeah.
He has a German accent when he talks.
He's full American. He was born in America.
We're gonna have our first marital spat right now.
I know, right? Hilarious. That's so good. Anything else that, like, what were some other special moments from your day that, like, really stick out to you guys?
On the wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was tons. I did a big reveal of like changing my dress. So I changed into
That's
like
fun.
this tiny little dress, and I made a waterfall capelet to go with it. So it was really dramatic. Basically,
Cool.
from the front it looks like a neck shawl, but from the back it's like a long dramatic cape. And I put on some like giant platform Bagley Mishka shoes.
Cute.
And I just started singing the song Love Story by Taylor Swift all the way off to the side of the party to surprise everyone. And because I was so secretive, there is no video of the surprise. You know, there's always something you regret, right? I didn't tell anyone I was doing it. So,
Yeah.
except the band knew.
For sure, yeah.
But there is a video of like midway through the song, like when Mario and I are, you know, interacting, and it was really fun, and a lot of people said it was their favorite moment.
It was probably my favorite moment of the wedding when she was singing that song. Because it like the lyrics are about a castle. It's like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
It's like very much like the vibe of our castle. And she sang it so beautifully, also way more of a rock version than the original.
I can't really sing pop.
Yeah, she sang it very with a lot of it's very unique. And then people just went crazy when she was like all of a sudden singing. We're all like jumping up and down. It was a cool moment because she was also jumping. She was jumping 2 feet high in platform boots.
Wow.
Adrenaline. I see the videos and I'm wearing these and I'm like hopping around. I'm like, how did I not fall down? I was just so excited.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's so good.
My best karaoke moment ever.
Yeah. It sounds like such a fun wedding.
The horror was cool. The horror was funny because the German DJs didn't know what a horror was. And so they were playing We Are Family to the horror dance. And so like 5 different people, half of them Jewish people, half of them just like new music, were like trying to help the DJ like play a different song. And so finally Haga or whatever came on, and it was so fun. It was hilarious.
One of my friends worked at he worked on a lot of bar mitzvahs and stuff.
That was the music.
So he was our DJ friend, and he helped with us. Also, he wrote a song for us. That he was in a boy band and stuff, so he wrote a song for us that he performed on the keyboard, kind of roasting us in a song, and it was hilarious. I mean, just we have so many friends who contributed a lot to this wedding in terms of the things they did, whether it's a speech or some of the musical performances. My friends, my groomsmen roasted me, which is like a stand-up comedy kind of roast, which is hilarious too. Fun. It was so
I feel like my bridesmaids, what they did was emotionally support me. Yeah. They didn't perform. My maid of honor was what's it called? Officiant. So she led the ceremony. But otherwise, like as I look back, I'm like, none of my bridesmaids performed for us. Like they're all like, they're just like, I don't know, they're just not. They weren't going to do that. Like I already know. They showed up and they were my emotional support. Yeah. Because I was freaking out that day. Yeah.
Good. Well, they knew their role. They helped you out where they could. Yeah, that's so good. All right. So what I love to ask people who come on this podcast every time, after you've gone through the whole thing, what advice would you give somebody who is going through the wedding planning process now?
What advice?
I feel like I haven't forgiven myself yet for everything I wish I could redo. So I'm still I don't know if I can give great advice.
I think accepting to that point, I would say accepting the fact that not everything will be the way you envision it, and that's okay. And focusing on the positive after, because I think Vita sometimes looks back at some of the moments. For example, we didn't get a footage of this moment, but I just feel like focusing on the beautiful moments of connection, that is like better. And it's unrealistic when you plan a wedding like this. There are going to be some things that in retrospect you can be like, I wish this small thing was different. But I think just focusing on the energy you've created, the people you bring together, the moments that people had that did. My favorite part was also having people that haven't met that are in my life and them sharing memories together made me so happy.
Yeah. That
And
is
Yeah.
so
focusing
cool.
on that connection,
I think like during the wedding planning process, the number one thing that helped both of us when we saw the quotes and like how much the total would be is just like what he just said, like creating this environment where all the people we love the most can actually hang out, become friends, share memories, learn who each other are. You know, there's years that go by that you tell your best friend about your other best friend and they never meet. And
Mm-hmm.
or your favorite cousin or you someone you went to college with, you know, and it's like in that moment they can finally meet. And I feel like if you can keep your eye on the prize, like that's the biggest reward. And some of my favorite things that I have found looking back through all the videos and photos that were uploaded to the shared album is evidence of my best friends taking selfies together or like laughing together. And I wasn't there.
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
had no idea that happened, but oh my gosh, I'm so happy that that happened. And those are the moments that are organic and you cannot control.
Mm-hmm.
So just focus on that. Cause some people are like, why even have a wedding? It's so expensive. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, those moments, the
no, it's
memories, yeah.
actually like it's about community. So if you're a very community driven person, then having a wedding is a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're a perfectionist like me, having a wedding will also be really hard. That's what I really learned. So maybe if you know you're a perfectionist, my advice is to just best prepare yourself for when you are disappointed, how to not totally sabotage your own wedding day. Because I think I got close to sabotaging my own wedding day like two or three
Wow.
times in the morning. And
Mm.
then by the reception, I was over it. And I was just like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
And it's all
Yeah.
gonna work out. That's the thing. Like, also,
Yeah,
if you're
totally.
behind schedule, it's your wedding day, so you
Right.
make the
But
rules. If
Right.
people have a good time after the ceremony, gathering, having champagne or whatever, like letting that run half an hour longer is totally
I
fine.
know, but if
So
you're
nothing matters. It's all
if your personality type is you struggle with being a perfectionist, which is like a real thing a lot of people can relate to, it's always going to be hard. There's no like people gave me a lot of advice, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey,
Right.
let things go on the wedding day. And that was nice, like to always have it at my forefront. Like, okay, everyone told me, let things go. So it did help. Like, I just kept letting things go.
Mm-hmm.
To some degree, it was successful. But yeah, it's a big production and there's a lot on the line. And I think just keeping yourself in a balanced headspace is the best thing you can hope for so that you don't spiral into like being too disappointed with little things that go wrong or big things that go wrong, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that would
Yeah.
actually be my advice that I need to take.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Yeah, to kind of like let things roll, like it's going to happen how it happens. And yeah, I'm sure it's hard though because you have this vision in your head of like, this is how it's going to go. And you've been dreaming of this day. And then if
And
it
you paid
doesn't go, and
people
yes,
and your
totally. And if
money
it
went
doesn't go
towards
that
things and you're
way,
just like, can I
yeah.
get money back?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. And speaking of that, I know you guys like with your content and everything have been putting out there that like, Mario, you're like, come to my tour so I can pay off my wedding. Like,
yeah.
and I love that. So it sounds like you guys did spend a lot of money on your wedding. Do you think it was worth it in the end?
I'm kidding. Yes.
He's always
Okay.
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Mm-hmm.
it was because, like, we talked about our friends, but I have a big family, and not everyone was able to be there because of finances. But the people that could show up, that we financially like got them there, because one of my siblings has four kids. Like,
Wow.
this is an expensive trip. So, like, it really matters. Like, it's life changing. And he
Mm-hmm.
told me, he said that this trip was life changing for his children. And
Oh.
that matters. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's what life is about. We shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
just sit around and not go to big events or travel around the world because it costs too much or it's overwhelming to think about coordinating or it's not worth it. Like, push yourself, go do it. You always say, get out of your comfort zone and
Yeah.
show up for yourself, show up for other people, and you just don't know where that will take you, and it can surprise you. It can be so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
saw that with friends too. They didn't personally tell me, but I saw their Instagram posts afterwards where they're like, going to Germany was so special, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even get to talk to that person at the wedding.
Yeah.
But it still
Right.
meant a lot to them, you know?
Yeah,
So I think it
definitely.
was 100% worth it.
Yeah, 100%. Especially the kids,
Mhm.
seeing like the kids or her nieces and nephews who maybe wouldn't have gone to Europe
Never.
as kids.
Right.
So like being able
Yeah.
to create a core memory for them is like, that's totally worth it.
They were ghost hunting in the castle.
Yeah, they loved it.
That's so fun.
It was so funny. They would like, you'd like run, you'd see them in the hallway and they're like, hey, Vita, you want to see this scary ghost in the corner? And I was like, maybe later.
That is so cute.
What? And there's like there's like 6 of them like running around.
Yeah.
And
That's
even
so
like
good.
the German kids and the American kids, they didn't speak the same language, but they played
yeah.
together.
Yeah, it was so cute.
That's awesome. I love that you guys had kids at your wedding too, and that was a part of
It was super important to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really
I love that
important.
so much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, your wedding sounds so amazing. I've already seen some of the videos you guys have posted. It just looks so fun. I feel like if I could summarize your wedding, it's just like fun.
Yeah.
And yeah. So tell us, like, where can we find you? What projects do you guys have going on? Maybe plug your tour, Mario, as we close out.
Well, for me, just marioadrion.com, Adrion. My tour dates, I'm on tour until the rest of this decade to pay for the wedding. So I'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We love that show.
Mhm.
I'm on Instagram, Veta Adrion. If you go to Mario's Instagram, you'll see me also. My fashion work is on Instagram, Vita Styled Me. I also have a website, but I feel like Instagram's always more accessible and more fun.
Mhm.
And yeah, and if you need help with styling, I mean,
Yes.
reach out. I work not just with celebrities, I work with everyone. So
That's really cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to just share your story with us. I think it's really cool to just have it in a long format, to just hear how it came about from beginning to end and for the future too. And so congratulations, you guys. Can I actually
Thank
see the rings really quick before we hang up?
Oh,
If you have them on. It's okay if you don't have it on.
it's great.
Well, it's here.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna talk after this.
I just came from the gym. I just came straight from the gym, yeah.
Don't want
My
people to know.
gosh, beautiful. Love.
So it's like, yeah. So the blue stone that mirrors her rings,
Both
we
of our
designed
rings
it.
are
That
actually
is
custom
so
made by the same
cool.
designer. My vintage ring he gave
Wow.
me, unfortunately, it broke because
Oh,
it was a little too
no.
old and the prongs ripped off. But
Yeah.
now the same designer in LA designed both of our rings. So
Oh, beautiful.
it has they have a new story of how
Yes.
they are connected.
Yeah, they do. That's so cool. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to share your story
Thank
with
you.
us, and go and follow them. Go see Mario's tour. If you need styling, hit up Vita. She's got you. So thank you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye. There you have it, another episode of the Wedding Reporter podcast. To see those gorgeous wedding and engagement photos, head over to NashvilleBrideGuide.com for more behind the scenes content. And if you like this episode, I would so appreciate it if you would rate and subscribe the show. See you next time for another great episode.